For more on the conditions on the ground in Gaza, let me turn to Dr. Margaret Harris. She's with the World Health Organization. Dr. Harris, thank you for being on the program. I want to begin with this warning from Israel, telling more than 1 million civilians in northern Gaza to evacuate. UN has said this is impossible. I just want to get your take on this. We also heard from the WHO saying this basically amounts to a death sentence for vulnerable hospital patients.
Yes, and we have joined the wider United Nations in appealing to Israel to immediately rescind these orders for the evacuation of 1 million people. A mass evacuation absolutely is disastrous for patients, health workers, and all those civilians caught in the mass movement. The people who are in hospitals right now, and the hospitals are overwhelmed. Of the two in northern Gaza, there are 760 beds, but they have many, many more patients. They have patients everywhere. They are overcrowding, and those people they are treating are the sickest of the sick. Those are the people with the most severe injuries, many of them children, that require intensive care, as you were hearing, that require round-the-clock care and services and supplies that are no longer there. Thousands more people can't even get treatment. They just have to somehow manage because there is no space. Moving any of those out of the hospitals is impossible, and you can't move them with any way of protecting them while you move them.
So here's another, there's so many problems, so much going on in Gaza, no power, no water, hospitals running dangerously low on fuel, and that fuel is critical because they're needed for generators. So what's going to happen, Doctor, once Israel launches a ground invasion, whatever you want to call it? At that point, the situation is going to go from horrible to disastrous.
Beyond disastrous, horrendous, tragic, a living hell. Just imagine being a healthcare worker. You're there in the hospital, you're saving lives. You're being told that you have to leave. You can't leave because you're leaving people behind who'll die. You can't bring them with you because they'll die. What kind of choice is that? It's no choice. It's just horror.
Are you aware of any discussions going on with the Israelis to at least allow food, water, and vital services to get in and help the most vulnerable? From what we're hearing, the Israelis are saying none of that is going to happen until Hamas releases with more than 100 hostages that they've taken captive. So
we certainly know it's not what WHO does, but all throughout the UN system, the voice, the appeals, the basic cry for humanity has been going on for days. This must not continue. These supplies must come in, and the severely wounded must be allowed to leave. You cannot do this. You cannot stand by. The world cannot stand by and watch this happen.
We're going to leave it there. We certainly appreciate your take on this, Dr. Margaret Harris from the World Health Organization.